Before square a binomial, we need to understand what is a square a number or anything. For example, if you have any number, square means that you have to multiply the number by itself twice. So 5 times 5. If you have 5 cubed, means that you have to multiply by itself 3 times. So it's going to be 5 times 5 times 5. If you have any number raised to any power, for example, raised to the power of 6, you should multiply the number by itself, in this case, 6 times. And the concept of exponentiation is the same with negative numbers, fractions, algebraic expression. For example, if we have minus 3 raised to the second power, with negative numbers, it's recommended to use parentheses to avoid mistakes with signs. But the definition is the same. Multiply the base or the number twice by itself. It doesn't matter if you are using fraction. We have to multiply the top number twice and also the bottom number 2 times. And also for algebraic expression is the same concept. If you have an expression raised to the second power, you have to multiply twice by the same expression and then simplify. There is no special secret or rule to square any expression. Due the square of a binomial is very known and use algebraic expression, we simplify the square of a binomial following the next pattern. That consists in identify the first and second terms, then square the first term plus twice the product of the first and second terms, and finally square the second term. This pattern always will work in any square of a binomial. It doesn't matter if you have a minus in one of the terms or even in both. Exercise number 1, squaring the next binomial. As you can see, the first term is plus x and the second term is plus 3. Then we need to remember the pattern, that is square the first term plus twice the product of the first and second terms plus square the second term. Now substitute the terms. The first one is plus x, then we need to substitute again here, and the 2 empty spaces are for the second term, that is plus 3. It's very important to see that we have 3 terms. Simplifying the first term, starting with the sign plus times plus equals plus, x times x equals x squared. Then we have the product of 3 factors, starting with the multiplication of the signs, plus times plus equals plus, and then plus times plus equals plus, then the multiplication of the numbers, 2 times 1, if you don't see a number, is a number 1, and then we need to multiply by the last number, that is a 3, so 2 times 3 equals 6, and we put the only variable, that is the x. And finally, simplifying the last term, plus times plus equals plus, and outside the parentheses we have another sign, so plus times plus equals plus, and 3 times 3 equals 9. And this is how we get the answer of the square of this binomial. But remember, this pattern is a shortcut to get the square of any binomial. It doesn't mean that is the only way to get the answer. You always can use the multiplication process to simplify any binomial raised to any power. It takes longer, but you always can get the answer. Exercise number 2, it doesn't matter if you have different variables or negative numbers. The pattern is the same. We just need to substitute the first term in this parenthesis and this 2. And the last 2 parentheses, we substitute the second term. Simplifying the expression, starting with the first term, plus times plus, and also outside the parentheses we have another plus, but at the end we get plus. Then be careful, we have to multiply the numbers. 2 times 2 equals 4, n times n squared. Simplifying the second term, plus times plus equals plus, plus times minus equals minus. Now the numbers, 2 times 2 times 5 equals 20. And we put the only variable, that is n. And finally, simplifying first the negative number to the second power, starting with minus times minus equals plus, 5 times 5 equals 25. And outside this result, we have another plus. So finally, plus times plus equals plus. And we put the only number that we have, that is 25. And this is how we get the answer of the square of this binomial. And also, if you don't want to use the pattern, you can just multiply the binomial and get the same answer.